Doug Simpson, and I'm here to talk about the Wavegrinder Surfboard Fin. The Wavegrinder Surfboard Fin is something that's new and different in the world of surfing. One of the things that people immediately notice about it is that it's different. It's different by design. Sailors among you will immediately notice that the surfboard fin is very upright. An upright fin is something that is now the norm in sailboat racing, particularly in the America's Cup, which is the leading edge of the research and development of hydrodynamics and also of sailboat racing. What the upright profile allows you to do is to maximize lift while minimizing drag. That gives you the greatest speed and maneuverability. In surfing, what it allows you to do is catch more waves and to turn better and to have more speed. For those of you who have often paddled feverishly to catch that perfect wave that you see coming up, and yet you miss it, obviously if you have a little less drag, you're more likely to catch that wave, those kinds of waves. Likewise, your arms might last a little bit longer each day because you're not pulling so much through the water. This has approximately 28 square inches of surface area. That's about 20 to 25, maybe 30% less than your average fin, and much smaller than the very large fins that you've seen. Another feature that is immediately something that differentiates this from other fins is the winglets. Winglets are used now by Boeing, by NASA, by Airbus, by a number of aerospace industries, as well as by the military. Some of you will recognize this as the top of a conning tower on a submarine. Well, the Department of Defense, hopefully anyway, knows something about how to minimize drag and to maximize lift in the shapes that they have going through the water. This, of course, is different from what people are used to seeing in the surfing world, but it makes complete hydrodynamic sense. Water is a fluid, as is air. They behave the same way, and that's why you'll see them on airplanes, and that's why they make sense for surfing, and that's why you see them on sailboats. What do? They prevent the movement of water, migration of water from one side of the fin to the other side of the fin. If you've ever been in an airplane looking out the window as you're coming down, you'll see sometimes a vortex near the end of the fin. That vortex is because air is moving from one side of a wing to the other. That robs the wing tip of lift and creates drag. If you can minimize that through the winglets, you get a better foil shape and a better surfboard fin, a better ride. Another thing that you'll notice is the shape of the foil. It's a NACA shape, and what that allows you to do is to keep the flow on both sides of the fin at all times for maximization of lift over a wide range of angles of attack. What that means, of course, in surfing language, is that you can turn more sharply than you can with your typical fin and not lose lift. What that means, practically speaking, is that when you're taking off on your catching the wave, if you turn sharply right or left, sometimes you'll miss that wave, you see it go underneath you. With this fin, you're not as likely to have that problem because you don't have the fin stall. Another feature that another benefit that people notice is that when they're dropping in on a wave, they experience what they feel is the tail lift on their board. It's a sensation that you're riding higher in the water. But that makes complete sense because a typical swept back fin is going to have the fin tip stalling, and what that's going to do is sink the rear portion of your board. But if you have less drag and a better angle of attack, maintain laminar flow over a wider range of angles, you're not likely to have that stall. Another feature this fin has is the bulbous fin root and the cutaway fin heel. Those are both features that reduce the interference drag, the drag that's associated with being placed next to the surfboard. This is something, of course, that you've seen on freighters and on aircraft carriers, military vessels, and all sorts of boats in the last several decades, because that feature reduces interference drag, the interference between the hull and the surface of the water. That's something that we incorporate. That's something new and different. Again, the design is intended to maximize lift, minimize drag. Some people say that maybe this ought to be longer or deeper or longer tracked so that you can get those long carving turns. Well, with all due respect, my belief is that the long carving turns about which people speak because they have a long fin is actually a long fin that's preventing a short turn. A short fin like this, that some people would describe as a pivot fin, enables you to make those long turns, or it enables you to make sharp turns. Whatever kind of turn you feel like having, you can have. This does not limit your turns as would a long fin. If you think of a canoe, for those of you who are boaters, canoes have a long keel. Sometimes the older canoes have a long keel section. That keel section is designed to make that canoe track. Obviously, the longer that keel section, the longer you're likely, more you're going to track, and the less likely you're going to be able to turn. So that's something that we end up working around. We want to have something that can turn, and if you want, you can make those long sweeping turns, or you can make them short. That's up to you. That is the Wavegrinder Surfboard Fin. We're hoping that people have it available at surf shops near them so that they can test drive it. We recommend that when you test drive it, you try it in your favorite board with your favorite setup. About 5 waves per fin. Come back to the beach, swap them out, and test them one against the other. Be careful though, of course, you've got to put this back about 1.5 to 2 inches for reasons we explain on the website from where you normally set it, because this is an upright fin. This is available at www.wavegrinder.com. For any questions, you can go to the Contact Us page. You can call us, you can email us. There's a lot of information there available if you'd like it. Thanks.